This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Okay, that is it happening very frequently or?
Not very frequently, but sometimes in some videos.
Okay.
For another 1 minute after voice will not be there, then again it will come.
That probably could be because of connectivity issues. Fine. Just 1 second.
This conference will now be recorded.
So last session we have gone through AWS overview, and also so we started with ec2 instance, ec2 service. Okay, so we have launched an instance, ec2 instance last session. Okay, and that was for ec2 Linux instance, right? ec2 RHL instance. And today let's launch another instance. Since we have launched RHL instance in last session, today we're going to launch ec2 instance for, let's go for CentOS, or we can go for Ubuntu, whatever it is, CentOS or Ubuntu. Okay, let's go for Ubuntu then. Let's go for Ubuntu. Fine. And so we'll see if there is any time left. We'll have a very quick session, about 30 to 40 minute session. Okay. And if there is any time left, we'll have also see how to launch ec2 Windows instance. ec2 Windows instance. Fine. And yeah, first let's do for Ubuntu instance. Let me first log into my account.
Is there any limit for instances? We can create a number of instances or free account.
So there is no limit to create number of instances, but so if you create any like free tier instances, so there is some number of hours limit, 750 hours per month for free tier instances.
Okay. That will be start from that instance created or from account created?
Like an instance created, that per instance per month. So ec2, and then so there is one instance running. Okay, was it this instance we have created last session? Anyone remember? Let me check the date and time. It will be more clear for us. So February 11th.
Last was 9.
That was Monday. Okay, 9th. So that was not the instance.
Maybe instance 1. Yes, this one. Upper grade is 1 February.
Where do you see the date? Yes, 9th February. Fine. Around at 10 a.m. Okay, fine. So this is our instance then. So this is the instance we have created last session, and you can see on this instance. So we have RHL. The AMI we have selected was RHL 7. RHL. This is the AMI we have selected. Fine. Now let's go with today. Launching another instance. Okay. So I'm going to launch an instance. But let's go with the Ubuntu instance. Fine. You can search for Ubuntu or else. It's not there. That's okay. Is it there? So that's Ubuntu. Fine. Yes, we have it. Let's go with selecting Ubuntu instance. So the first step was selecting AMI. Okay, that was the first step. And let's go with selecting your instance type. That means which instance type? Now when you say instance type, these are the instance types. Okay, so you can expect this kind of question actually. What type of instance you are using? Whether using micro instances or T2 micro instances or nano instances or medium or large instances. Okay, now so usually see that all depends upon your requirement, but usually we can go with like, so this kind of what do you say, some large instances, so large or extra large usually. Okay, that depends again upon your requirement. Right, number of processors, so memory, and then number of processors. Okay, so but in my case I'm going with only free tier instance. Click on next. Okay, so these are auto scaling groups. Let's skip for the moment. And then the storage. Now you see the default storage. So the default storage is 50 gig. So for in RHL, so that was default storage was 10 gig, 10 GB. But now you can see 50 GB. Fine. Now let's selecting it. And also, since we are discussing this part, storage part, let's also discuss about volume type. Okay, what is the volume type? Now, for example, so this is also important point we need to remember, and this kind of volume types will be coming across even when you talk about snapshots. Okay, block storages. Okay, we have something called block storages. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so and also we'll be having something like auto scaling groups and RDS instances. So this kind of volume types will be coming across in many services. Now, what is the volume type? Firstly, see, basically AWS provides these three types of volume types. Okay. Now, what is the importance of general purpose SSD? Now you see, default is general purpose SSD is the volume type. If you select this general purpose SSD, okay, now you see the IOPS. What is IOPS is nothing but like input outputs per second. How many requests? Okay, this instance, okay, this hard disk can process your request. How many inputs it can process per second? How many inputs it can process? How many outputs it can provide? IOPS per second. Inputs, outputs per second. Okay. So usually this is, you see, it can process 150. Okay. See, maximum is 3000 is the maximum. Okay. But as of now, what is my limit? I selected 150 per second. So this volume type can process about 150 requests per second, and the maximum is 3000. Okay, now but I want to change this IOPS type, I mean IOPS settings. I want to have more number of IOPS because this instance I'm expecting for this instance I may have more number of traffic. Then obviously we need to have more IOPS, high IOPS we need to have. Then, but you see, can I change this IOPS? That cannot be customized, but I want to customize, then go with provisional IOPS. Now you can see that can be customized. Fine. Now just say for example, now you see what is my hard disk size is 50 GB, right? Now change it to 500. Change it to 500. Okay, and then so you want to change it to just say something like about 10,000 IOPS. Yes, you can change it. Okay, based upon your hard disk size, I want to modify my IOPS. Okay, fine. And also, for example, let's go back to your general purpose SSD. Okay, now, so I can only modify hard disk size, right? Now look at here, 50 GB, and automatically this will be changed. IOPS will be changed. 150, right? You change it to something like 200, then you see automatically IOPS will be changed to 600. So that is the advantage of going for your provisional IOPS. So provisional IOPS gives you an option to change your IOPS settings, right? Whereas general purpose SSD, you cannot modify your IOPS settings. Okay. So this is like magnetic, and in magnetic, okay, so you can only change your hard disk size. You can only change your hard disk size. But how about IOPS? IOPS is not applicable for this type. IOPS is not applicable. Fine. So IOPS is applicable only for general purpose SSD or what is the other one? Provisional IOPS. Only for these two. So IOPS is applicable. For others, like for magnetic, it's not applicable. You can only choose your hard disk. You cannot choose the memory. I mean IOPS. You cannot choose the IOPS. Fine.
What will be the IOPS magnetic?
So magnetic, so that will be automatic again. We don't even see that. That will be again chosen by automatic by your hard disk size. Right. Okay. We don't even know that. Okay. So now, so let's go with the default one with general purpose SSD and go with default, which is like 50 GB. Right. And next is tags. Give some name. Just say it's Ubuntu, right? Let's go for Ubuntu test instance. So name, right? Name is equals to. Name is an attribute, standard attribute. Select the name and then is equals to Ubuntu test instance. Okay. Then click on security groups. See, I'm skipping these two parts. What are they? Auto scaling groups. Also, I'm going to skip security groups. Fine. So I'm going to skip these two. We'll come back to these two settings later when we discuss about auto scalings. Also, when we discuss about security, VPCs, virtual private clouds, I'll come back to that part. I'll explain those things again. Okay. Now click on next. As of now, going with the default settings for securities, also for auto scaling groups. Now, so it's asking me to select security groups and so and so. That's fine. I'm going to skip it. Click on launch. Okay. Now here, so in last session we have gone through choose an existing. So we have gone through create a new pair, right? We created some new key pair, but now this time I want to use a key pair which we already have existing. So go with existing key. So which key pair? See, already have these three key pairs already created. Okay, in my account. So you want to use the same key pair which you are using for other instance. You want to use the same key pair for this new instance. You can choose it. Okay. Now let's go with instance 1 key. Okay. Do we have that key first? Let me check it out. What was the key name? Instance 1. Okay, fine. We have it. We have PPK. We have confirm. Nice. Let's go with selecting it. Launch it. Okay, fine. Instance will be launched. That's instance ID. Fine. And see, I want to log into this instance, right? Which is what is the instance? Ubuntu is the instance. Then what is the username you will be logging in? See, for RHL instance, when I was logging in with some username, what was the username I given? ec2-user, right? See, once we have instance launched, we'll be logging into that instance. By how? By using putty. So when you use putty, then in that putty we need to mention the username. So which username we have mentioned for RHL? ec2-user. Now for Ubuntu, what is the username? It's Ubuntu. Let me show you. So default AWS Ubuntu, okay, usernames. Fine, you can see. For Ubuntu, what's the username? Ubuntu. For Debian, this is admin, and for RHL, this is ec2 user, ec2-user. Okay, so let's use a user call. Sorry, Ubuntu is a default user. You cannot log in with any other usernames. You must be logged in with Ubuntu only. Okay. So is my instance ready? It's initializing it. So and we have the IP address, right? We have the IP address. Let's copy this, log in with this IP address. So that's my putty, and then IP address, fine. And then go with SSH, okay. And then authentication, and then just browse for the key, and then go with what is the key name, dot test instance one hyphen key ppk, fine. Open, and then username is, okay, let me change the font size. And the color, fine, okay. So log in as user as Ubuntu, okay. So we have logged in now, fine. Now you want to switch to your super user. So just switch to super user. Now I'm logged in as super user, root user. So you will you can launch any other instance types. So try to launch Ubuntu also, try to launch RHEL, and also try to launch CentOS. Okay, and for CentOS, username is CentOS, I think so, or something else. CentOS, I think so. Fine. Or else, let me just show you this. For CentOS, yes. For CentOS, it is CentOS. Fine. And for Ubuntu, it is Ubuntu. Okay. And for Windows, it is admin. Do you see anywhere? We don't see it, right? That's okay. But for Windows, it is admin user, admin. So we'll also launch that Windows instance also. Okay. Now, so sorry. So before we launch Windows instance, let me just show you. Okay. So go to ec2 dashboard, or you can go to instances. Now here we have all these instances ready. Okay. You want to manage some instances, just say click on this instance, some instance, and you want to manage the status, like instance stop. You can stop it. Okay. So terminating, for example, you select terminate instance state, terminate it. It is going to terminate your instance. What is terminating? Like deleting your instance permanently. Okay. Now, if the instance is deleted, so you cannot get that instance. So probably you may have to contact your support team, AWS support team. Okay, fine. Now just say, for example, what is my instance IP address? Select this instance. Okay, 1 second. Once this is done, you can go with selecting that. Or else, let's look at this. So this is some instance IP address, right? That's instance IP address. Now, so if I reboot this instance, then so can I get the same IP address? No. So if you reboot any ec2 instances, you won't be able to get the same IP address. You'll be having a different IP address assigned, public IP address. Okay. Now, so let me just show you. Now just go with start it. This time you will be having a different IP address. So now, but I want to have the same IP address even if I reboot my server. Then what we go for? So no, we don't have those kind of things. You cannot manage DHCP or static ones. You can do only those things for kind of a bare metals or else a virtual machines. Okay. In AWS, we cannot set static IP addresses. If you say, for example, this is my instance, we log in, right? This is my instance. Usually, how do you set up the IP addresses? etc, like network scripts and also network, and then your network adapter name. There you can set your IP address. Fine. But in EC2 instances, you don't have access to those kind of files because you don't set the IP addresses manually. So you need to set the IP addresses from the dashboard itself. You cannot do it at the instance level. That's not possible. So we know how to do it at instance level, right? Okay. So, but we don't do these things at instance level. We need to do it through the dashboard itself. Okay. Now, so select your instance first. This instance we have selected, right? And actions, go with instance settings, and here you can go with. There's an option called networking. Sorry, I think networking. I think so. Yeah, go with networking. There you can see manage IP addresses. Just manage IP address. Okay. Now here you can see manage IP addresses. You can go with allocating and elastic IP address. What is elastic IP address? Like that's kind of a permanent IP address. Permanent IP address. So you want to assign some elastic IP address for this instance. So first of all, create an elastic IP address first. Once you have the IP address created, then you can start assigning that IP address to the instance. Let's create an IP address. Click on the elastic IP address. Permanent, you will see. Right? It's permanent IP address. Now just go with allocating. Allocate, you see, allocate new address. Fine. Then this is my elastic IP address. Fine. Click on close. Now you can see we are under. So what is the section? You can see here. Elastic IPs. Okay. And here we are under this elastic IPs section. And here, if you want, you can create more elastic IP addresses. You can do more. But as of now, we have created one elastic IP address. But did we assign this IP address? Did we assign this IP address to instance? You see, if you don't know, just select this IP address. Now you can see, is it assigned to any instance? It's not assigned to any instance yet. Let's assign it. Okay. So even in my previous page, go back to previous page. So what we have done, I just only have clicked on this allocate IP address. Fine. Now, so I have not assigned any new IP address yet. Fine. Let's go with. I close this window. It's not needed anymore. Okay. And also, you see for this instance, what is my current IP address? 242.181. Fine. Now, so I'm going to assign this elastic IP address to my instance. First, select that IP address. And once it is selected, go with actions and then associate address. Let's associate. Now associate to which instance? Select your instance. So which instance? Ubuntu test instance. Allocate it. Fine. And then associate. Now successfully done. Now there you can see for which instance it is allocated, for so and so instance. Fine. You can also see here. You can also see that's instance. Click on this instance or else go back to your previous page. Now previously what was IP address? 240.81. Let's refresh. Now it's different. Okay. Now we'll try to restart this instance. Action, instance state, and then reboot. Fine. Let's reboot it. So it will get reboot. It will take probably a couple of minutes. But even after you reboot your instance, you can see you'll be able to see the same IP address. Fine. We can check the status. Okay, it is going to restart very soon. But as of now, you see, it's slowly it's happening. It's getting restarted. It's almost done. Now you can see. Still we see the. Now you see something is getting changed. Right now, so That is my instance IP address. Even though you reboot your system, you want to have the same IP address, go with assigning elastic IP addresses. Okay, fine. Now, so let's also talk about. Are you clear about this, or you want to show it with one more example? Okay, fine. It's very simple steps. Okay, fine. And sorry.
How many IP addresses we can create?
How many IP addresses? Okay. Free. See, there is one thing. IP addresses can be created, but they don't charge you if you create IP addresses. Okay, they charge you only if IP address is not assigned, not allocated. So you can create IP address. Fine, you can allocate a new IP address. That means you can create IP address, but they don't charge you if you create an IP address. But they charge you once IP address is created. You're not assigning the IP address to an instance. Then they start getting it charge you. That means they want your instance is running. Understand? So that is the logic behind it. If you run your instances, you'll get charged. Okay. So see, if you want to create any IP addresses, you can create them, no issues. But once IP address is created, try to assign that IP address to the instance.
You said if you're running your instances, you get charged?
Of course, why not? Not for free tag. I'm talking not for free tag. I'm talking about your paid instances. Okay. This is for free. It's for free.
We can delete that IP addresses also. Like
yeah, you can deassociate. Let me show you. See, intercommunication that comes under like what do you mean intercommunication? Like you want to ping one instance to another instance? Was it the question? Okay. Now, so now just say look at here. Yes, you can do it. Of course, you can do it. You can ping between instances. No issues. You can log in with one instance or another instance. You can do all these things. Okay. Now, so let me show you them probably tomorrow session or day after tomorrow. So I'll tell you how. Fine. Now you see. Click on that. Click on this and then go with deassociate. Okay. Go with deassociate. Now you see. This is having no instance assigned. Now also go with your instance. Now this IP address will be gone now. Now we have some new IP addresses assigned. Okay, so you can associate, you can deassociate, no issues. So see, the access from one instance to another instance is possible. Okay, it's very much possible. But so actually there are some things we need to understand. For example, see, very simple. You have one virtual instance. You want to communicate with other virtual instance. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it. But even in my case, I want to do the same. Yes, we can do it. I'll tell you probably tomorrow session. We'll discuss these things. How to do SSH or how to do remote connections. Okay, from one instance to another instance. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Right? You can also put some restrictions. Who can access your instance? Who cannot access your instance? You can also do many things. You can also create some virtual private networks. So there are many things. We'll talk about that as we go on. Fine. Now, so yeah, what next? Yeah, let's go to your dashboard again. Go to my dashboard. This is the dashboard. Now, so in my dashboard, okay. So in my dashboard, you can see something called availability zones. So what is an availability zone? Okay. So availability zone. Now let me show you them. Before I understand availability zones, let's try to understand regions. So these are your regions. These are your regions. Now what do you mean by region? Region is nothing but kind of a data center. Okay. Now, so for example, I'm going to create an instance. I'm going to create an instance. Now, whenever you create instance, okay, so you need to make sure under which region you want to create an instance. So whether you want to create a region, okay, these are all my regions. I mean AWS regions provided. So you have many regions. We have some US regions, we have some Asia Pacific regions, also we have some in Mumbai. Okay, also we have something in Sydney, I think so we have somewhere in Sydney we have. So we have many more. We have in EU regions, we have many regions. Okay, so for example, you can select actually which region is best suitable for you. So since I'm in India, I want to select Mumbai as a region. Okay, why? Because that is the closest region for me. You want to create different regions? You can do it. See, I'm in North Virginia. That's a default region. You can select it, no issues. Okay. Now, for example, let's say, and also see what is my region now? North Virginia. Now I select North Virginia and click how many instances we have in total. So we have total 5 instances. So 2 running, 3 not running. Okay, we have 5 instances now. So I'm going to change my region now. Change it to Mumbai. Now, so do I see any instances? No, because I've created those instances under North Virginia region. Okay, you can choose it actually. In which region you want to create your instance? You want to create instance under North Virginia or Mumbai region or Sydney region, so and so. Okay, fine. Now, so go to dashboard again. Now, what is my region now? Mumbai is my region. Now, in this region, we have 2 availability zones. We have 2 availability zones. Now, what is availability zone? For example, I'm launching an instance under Mumbai region. Okay, I'm launching an instance under Mumbai region. Once, but see, whenever your instance is launched under Mumbai region, okay, now here we have 2 availability zones available. Now, why we have these 2 availability zones? Why can't we have 1? That's one more question. Yes. See, for example, so just say I'm creating an instance under this Mumbai region. Your instance will be created under 2 multiple availability zones. 2 multiple availability zones. Two availability zones same time. Why? Because of high availability. For example, just say, so my instance is created under Mumbai region. Okay, and then so whenever you create instance, the instance will be created. You will be having copies maintained under different multiple regions, so multiple zones. Okay, for example, my instance is being launched under 1A zone, but that is down. The availability zone is down. If the availability zone is down, you can automatically access your instance from different availability zones. You don't need to do anything.
And whatever we have installed in one zone gets replicated another zone.
Yes, you will be having copies. Yes, instance will be having a copy. Total instance will be having a copy. Backup. Okay. See, for example, see, we can decide only regions. We cannot decide availability zones. That means I want to create an instance. I can decide which region, but I cannot decide which availability zone. That's not possible because automatically instance will be created on some availability zones. Okay, so instance will be having backups in other availability zones, but where exactly they're maintaining, we don't know these things.
For example, Mumbai, we are certain on Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
Because of the natural calamities.
Yes. Yeah.
Still, it is available because of this.
Yes. 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 Okay. So that is the reason, like because of, see, that is very quite common when you talk about your infrastructure. So we'll be having about many questions like calamities, natural disasters, all those things. They keep these things in mind. Okay. Fine. So
If both zones have got collaborated, then can we switch the region? For instance,
you can switch the region, but you cannot switch your instances. See, my instance is created under Mumbai region. Can I access that instance from different region? So do you see actually we created some instances under North Virginia region. Can I access those instances? No, right? So it's not possible. So cross region is not possible. So but cross availability zone is possible. Cross region means accessing one instance from another instance, accessing an instance from one region to another region is not possible. That's never possible. But you can access. So again about cross availability zones, but cross region is not possible. Okay. So and also whenever you create a region, when you select a region, so we select your nearest region, the closest region. Okay, probably because we can reduce some latency time, access time. That is the reason. Okay, so but among all these regions, so which one is most preferred is North Virginia. Why? So let me tell you. Go to dashboard and you see how many availability zones we have. We have 6. So that's the reason. So they go for, I mean, people usually we decide to go for North Virginia. If you think you're going to maintain a production server, then choose this region. But latency time, it's very less actually. It's in milliseconds. Latency won't be much time. That won't be in seconds. Probably that might be in milliseconds. Okay.
Changing the region's price will be changed.
Yes, price also will be changed. Obviously, okay, your prices changes as per your regions. Okay. See, they are maintaining many availability zones. They charge you more for this region. If you select Mumbai region, you won't be having too much cost. You can reduce some cost. Okay, that is also there.
And when we log in the first time
Yeah,
on the dashboard,
yeah.
we will have the flexibility to choose that.
Yes, you can change it anytime. You can change it anytime. Fine.
Default using some region.
So default, like probably I think that's your nearest region. So because when you create your account, I think we select country also. Like when you create an account, we select country and state, so and so. So based upon that, I think they'll be giving you your default region as Mumbai, based upon your country, based upon your nearest location. Okay. So if you want to change it to, you can change it to any region. No issues. Okay. So obviously charges will be, so charges varies as per your region, based upon your region. Okay. You can select like Sydney region. Sydney also, I think Sydney having 3, I think so. Yes, they're having 3, right? So they have 3 available zones. So in the past, we didn't have Mumbai. We didn't have Mumbai. So they launched it, I think, 2 years or 3 years ago. We didn't have it in the past. We didn't have this kind of Mumbai region. Okay, fine. So let me also, or let's, we'll do one thing. We're going to launch an instance, Mumbai. Okay. So, but this time we're going to launch a Windows instance. Right? I'm going to launch a Windows instance in Mumbai region. Let's see. So launch.
We are doing again freelance, right?
Sorry.
We are doing again the freelance.
Yes, free tier. Of course, we're going to do free tier. Okay. We're not going to launch any paid instances. We don't do it. Now you can go with some Windows 2009, whatever it is. You can go with 2019 with SQL Server. So based upon your requirements, which one you want to launch. Okay, go with as of now some base Windows 2019 server, and then again free tier. Okay, so and then so auto scaling groups, skip it, and the storage is 30 GB default for Windows. See, for RHL this was 10. Okay, but for Windows this is 30. But how come Ubuntu is having 50? That's what my question. why they are providing 50 GB for Ubuntu instances. Then create name.
It's again business. Maybe Ubuntu providers giving them.
So mostly, yeah, mostly we prefer Ubuntu instances. That might be reason why they're providing this 50 GB. So go with Windows. Skip this security groups. Launch it. Let's create a new key pair because this is for Windows. But you can use existing one, no issues. Fine. But since this is Windows, just for my convenience, I'm creating Windows 3019. Okay. So download it, launch instance. And Windows instance would take some time actually. Okay, because it is Windows instance, right? It's all like user interfaces, and then we need to install like more drivers. So we can launch an Linux instance like within couple of minutes, but Windows instance we need to wait for at least uh, like 3 to 5 minutes. Okay.
This keypad we are using, uh, can we change after instance created this one?
Yes. So you can also change the key pair. You can also change the key pairs. So there are some options been given. Let me also show you the results.
Can we have more than one user, like one instance can be accessed by 3 members? So 3 members having different keypads.
One instance, only one key pair. One instance, only one key pair. You cannot have multiple key pairs for same instances. Okay. Now, actually, logging into Windows instance somewhat different. Now go with connecting. Okay. Click on connect, and then so get your password. Password is not available. Please wait for 4 minutes. See, for Windows instances, okay, you don't need that key pair. Okay, let me just click on this key pair automatically, and then so go with get password. As soon as click on this password, so automatically your password will be generated. Okay, I'll tell you. Or else you can also do this. Here we have something like connect. Again, say get password. Now we need to see in Windows, in Linux, what we have done. Once the PUM file has been generated, then we have converted that into PPK file. Now, but here you need to go with key pair. Select the key pair. Where's your key pair? You can do it through dashboard itself. You can do it through dashboard. Now, so where is my downloads? Downloads. Go with Windows. Open. Now decrypt password. That is my password. You don't need to select this PUM file while launching this instance, like what we have done for our Linux instances. See what we have done for Linux instances. So I open that putty, and then they selected the PUM file. Are you clear? But here we don't need to select the PUM file. We just need to select the PUM file from the dashboard itself, and then convert that password. Once it is converted, you can see that password. What's the username? That's the username, and this is my password. Save this password. It's a password, and the username is administrator. Username is administrator. Okay, fine. So fine, that's it. And then how do you connect it? How do you connect to remote Windows instances? Hop. You can use hop, or else what you can do, traditional way. We have something called remote desktop, something is right. Yes, RDB. Fine. Remote desktop connection. Remote desktop connection. See, I think Windows 7. I don't think so. In Windows 7, we'll be having this remote desktop connection by default. We'll be having it. Fine. So yeah, from Windows 7, I think so onwards, we'll be having like remote desktop connection installed by default on your Windows. Okay. Open that remote desktop connection, and then IP address. That's my IP address. Fine. Get that IP address. Okay. And then connect, and then enter username and the password. Yes. Get that username and the password. Fine. And then the password. Okay, fine, done. Accept the certificate. Accept the certificate. You'll be having something like certificate. Yeah, it would take some time again. Because Windows instances obviously taking time. So that's my Windows instance, right? So how easy, right? So you are working on any instance, so without installing them. Yes, quick. That's one more thing. It's very, very quick. See, how can you have a Windows instance ready within 4 minutes? Is it really possible? It's not at all possible, but you can have it within 4 minutes. And in Linux instances, within 2 minutes. Okay, so there is advantage of going for cloud infrastructure. Okay. For example, someone is complaining that their server is down. Launch another server in the background automatically, right? Which we call it auto scaling. So you can do auto scaling. You can launch another server. For example, you are my client. Okay, so your server is down. I didn't know that actually. No one knows actually until we get some complaints from the users. He's not able to do something. Then we start getting some tickets, issues. Then we look into the tickets. Then we'll come to know what is going wrong with my servers. Then we'll realize these things. Yes, my server is down. But without getting any issues, as soon as my server is down, I want to launch another server in the background, which we call it auto scaling. Right? How these auto scalings will be done? So that is what is our fourth setting. Whenever you launch instance, right, there is a step called auto scaling. Third step. What is the third step? See, first step we select AMI. Second step we select type, instance type. Third select we select auto scaling groups. Okay, so we'll talk about that auto scaling groups later. So, and
remote desktop is one. Can we launch Ubuntu also?
this is only for Windows, right? It's only for Windows. Remote desktop is for Windows to Windows. And you want to assign an elastic IP address for this also, you can assign elastic IP address. Right? Now, so
And
yeah,
now we usually should have about 5 or 6 instances altogether, right?
yeah,
And if there is a database using there,
yes,
another instance, it should only operating system and actually there is an IaaS.
okay. Hmm.
And the database something has become the past.
Yeah. See, we have both things actually. You want to create a database. You can do two ways. You can launch an instance, and on that instance, like we have launched in Windows instance. Now your instance is ready. Your bare metal is ready. Now on that bare metal, what you can do, you can start configuring your database. You can install your Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server, whatever you want. But without installing any databases, without creating any instance, can I create a database? Then that comes under platform as a service. Understand? So we have different service which is RDS service. Yes. 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 Yeah.
And then go for an instance DB instance is there for it.
Yeah.
So this is free, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But it's separate instance.
Yeah. That's separate instance. Yeah.
But if I'm doing for other free tier facilities,
Free time.
free tier facilities for the database, install on this system,
See, when you say database, so
I have to pay for.
see databases. You have two things again. You have two things. Okay. Whenever you launch a bare metal or instance, on that instance you want to install Oracle database. Just say Oracle is not for free. It is license. You need to pay for the license. You need to pay for Oracle, not for AWS. Okay. So that means there you are talking about downloading Oracle application first, and then by paying license to Oracle, then that application can be installed on your AWS EC2 instance. Now here AWS don't worry about this. What you install on your instance, AWS don't even worry about those things. That is your instance. You can do whatever you want. Okay, but you want to create a database as a platform. That means without having any database, without installing any database, or without creating any server, then RDS having database, AWS is having a different service which is RDS, relational database services. Now in this case you need to pay for AWS. No, this is not for free.
Even in MySQL also.
See, MySQL are for free, but again, see, we have two things, so we need to understand these things. For example, just say I'm going with MySQL. Just say MySQL is for free. You can create, but do you need to pay for license for MySQL? You don't pay for MySQL. Why? Because MySQL is for free. But you're creating a database on where? On AWS. Then you pay for AWS. Are you clear? For example,
Free tier provided by AWS, then only it will be free, otherwise not.
yeah. So look at here. This is Oracle we have. Oracle having licensed versions. Now you pay for two. What are they? One is for license for Oracle, also AWS because you're using their infrastructure. Are you clear? So you need to pay for both Oracle also for AWS. Yes.
How much roughly MySQL?
How much?
Roughly MySQL will charge?
Approximately. I'm not sure about those things. How much they charge you. Okay, but you can get those charge. Once you click on this next, you can get your approximate cost.
Oh, even also they are charging USD.
Yes, they charge you only on dollars, not in rupees. But see, you can do one thing. When you go to billing section, you can see your rupees. Billing dashboard. There you can see rupees. Okay. Cost. You can see here. You can see rupees. But at the time of creating those instances, that's only in dollars. That's only in dollars. So, but at the time of paying your bills, if you go to your billing dashboard, there you can see your rupees.
And initially I keep that annually.
Yeah.
And there you can cancel it.
You can delete the database. You can delete the database. As soon as you get it, you can cancel it. You can do it. But I don't think so. See, I think they charge you on hourly basis. They charge you on hourly basis, but you launched it, use it for 1 or 2 minutes. By mistake, I think they charge it. Probably they charge you. Yes, but they don't have anything on minute basis, they have only hourly basis. So minimum is 1 hour. You need to pay for 1 hour. Okay. So now go back to my dashboard again, ec2 dashboard. So this instance is created under which availability zone? Which region? Sorry, Mumbai region. Now, so go with selecting different region, something like North Virginia, and then so now let me check it out. Whether can I see that Windows instance? No. So it's not possible to access. Okay, but for example, okay, the instance is created in different region. Let's say Mumbai region. See, instance, you can log into any instance, not an issue. But managing that instance is only to the regions. See, accessing can be from anywhere. It's a global access. It's on cloud. But managing that instance has to be only from that region. So don't get confused again. Okay. Now I have a friend. So let's look at this instance. So this North Virginia instance itself. So I have created these instances. But I'm logging in from where? From India. We can do it. Instance can be accessed globally, but instance cannot be managed globally. You need to select your region first. Okay, then you start managing your regions. Okay, right here. But when you go to your billing section, you see not region wise, you see account wise. What is my account name? This is my account name. You see the billing as per your account wise, not on regions basis. Okay. So let's do one thing. So when we come back tomorrow, so I said only 40 minutes, but it's like 1 hour. That's okay, fine, nice. Now tomorrow what we do is we'll come back and then we'll try to do some SSH. That means remote connections. Fine. How can I connect to, for example, what is my SSH? I have a VMware instance on my local instance. How can I do SSH onto my AWS instance from VMware? We'll do that first. First we'll do SSH and what else? And go with some securities. Okay, go with some securities, not full securities, some basic securities. And also, if possible, we'll discuss regarding block storage, elastic block storage. So we'll discuss these things in our tomorrow session. And tomorrow the time is 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. So approximately we'll be having till around 11:45 a.m. Fine. Yeah, because today we had only 1 hour, so that is the reason. Right?